this seriously, but I hope that my noble friend will be able to reassure me.
My Lords, I rise very briefly to offer the Green Group's support for this amendment, there not being enough space given its cross-party and indeed non-party signatures already on it. And I compliment particularly the noble Lady Baroness Boycott on her comprehensive introduction, and indeed the following two speakers on their excellent additions to that introduction. I would just pick up on a point of the noble Earl, the Earl of Caithness, about processed food, particularly ultra-processed food, a definition that the government still unfortunately hasn't accepted, despite it being widely accepted around the world in terms of nutrition. 68% of the calories in the British diet coming from ultra-processed foods. That's so-called food that bears no relationship to what started out on the farm. We know what we need for public health and what we also need for the state of our natural environment, which is far more production of vegetables and fruit, ideally produced here in the UK, which means real changes in our farming systems. And I note the reference by the noble Lady Baroness Young of Old Scone to the Climate Change Committee's land use report, and that said that we need to see a 20% reduction in food waste and a 20% reduction per person in the consumption of beef, lamb and dairy. What we're talking about essentially is we need to see a massive reduction in factory farming, in production, methods of production that are causing enormous environmental damage. And we have to stop food waste, because feeding perfectly good food to animals to produce a small amount of protein is food waste. Now, I think it was very disappointing, not within this place, and not even perhaps within Parliament, but in response to the release of the Dimbleby report, we did hear some very dismissive comments from ministers about that report. Yet we went right through the agriculture bill, the trade bill, and indeed through this bill being told, wait for the Dimbleby report, wait for the Dimbleby report. That was supposed to be providing the direction. If the government doesn't adopt that, we need to see this on the face of the bill.
Yeah. My Lords, just briefly to say, sadly I was